What's up, homies?
We're back. Special time for a special review. Right on.
Yes, and odd time to be on here, but you know what? We have a movie we need to talk about.
Yep.
And we are excited to talk about it because yesterday, Gary and I found a IMAX theater to go watch it on.
We did. Yeah, there was no HBO Max viewing yesterday for us at the living room. HBO Max, I appreciate what you're doing, but we made the commitment. Efren, you set it up. I thank you. Tip of the hat to you for that. South Point Theater, hats off to you guys. Very top-notch, giant IMAX screen. And it was good to be back.
Yes. Yes, it was very good to be back and very excited to be back in a IMAX screen theater to see two Titans go at it. And,
yes,
of course, since we're talking about this movie, we are bringing back another you saw him, I guess, earlier this week. Sorry, time is all over the place. But you saw him. It is Sir Eric English. He is here with us. Well, hello, Eric.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
What's up?
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome in. We are excited, and we are just letting people know this is what we're talking about. We are finally being able to talk about this fantastic movie, Godzilla Vs Kong, and we got to see it. I said Gary and I got to see it yesterday. Eric, you said you've already seen it twice.
Yeah,
is that correct?
I did.
Oh, wow.
I did the HBO thing, and
nice.
So I had to watch it for research purposes Wednesday night to make sure it wasn't too violent for the girls, and of course, then we watched it Thursday night, the whole family.
Very responsible.
Yes.
Respect.
I mean, it was needed, so that's off to you, sir. It's what needed.
My oldest daughter ran out while I was watching it, and she was like, "I knew that's what you're doing." And she ran away all mad.
I had to check. Like, that's the thing. You said to say you had to check it out. So
yeah.
So here we are. The time has finally come. We have been building up to this. We have been very excited about this one, and we just to let everyone know this will be best we can spoiler free.
Yeah.
There are certain things that honestly, if you've seen the trailers, it's not a spoiler. So if we talk about it in the trailer, if we talk about it because it's been in the trailer, if not, then we're trying to leave some surprise to you.
Yeah.
So just initial thoughts. I know, Eric, you've been chomping at the bit. Sir Eric, what would just initial thoughts? You don't have to go into it. Just after seeing it the first time, how'd you come out of that movie?
I felt like a kid again watching Godzilla for the first time. Yeah, like we spoke about in some of our recent conversations, just seeing them do justice to both the characters and some of the story and how they brought it all together and the modern sense of the CGI and all that. And yeah, the emotional roller coaster of the storylines and your feelings go one way and another and all that. And then boom, here you are. And at the end, you're still standing going, we want more. And, yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Sir Gary? Initial thoughts walking out of that theater?
That was fun. That's all I kept thinking. That was fun. It's exactly what it needed to be. Godzilla vs Kong as advertised. Yeah, like I said last week, I'm not as I don't know the characters, especially Godzilla, as much as you guys, but yeah, that was fun. And you said it best, Eric. Left you wanting more.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I know. For me, I let the theater because there's just so many points throughout this movie. I just had a big grin on my face, and I was very excited. And so it was like you guys said, it was exactly what it needed to be. I like that this movie just straight up was like, we know what the people want, and they gave it to them. This is the people's movie. Let me just put it that way.
The people.
Yes. And I walked out. I was like, that was a load of fun. I'm so glad I saw this first in the theater. Not a knock to you, sir, or anybody else who watched on HBO Max. I just made it a point. Yeah. I'm like, we have to watch this in the theater. So we were walked out very, very excited about it.
I just said I'm doing it because I don't have an IMAX nowhere near me. So I was like, just doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely look like that guy. I told Efren and Alan, a guy that was with us, that I said, look, guys, I don't get out much because I was looking at the screen like this. Oh my God, how big it is. I literally, I was like, so it was just, I had people had to be looking at me like, what is wrong with him? But,
this guy.
Sorry, baby's first time at the IMAX.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. It's been so long.
Yeah. So, gentlemen, let's go ahead and just dig right into this. And we have, Eric, we have kind of a setup. I know our viewers know kind of our setup for the review. We talk about the good, the bad, the pastor, and the dad, and just kind of let that guide us through. So, of course, we always like to start off with the good. So, Eric, what was some of the good that you saw in this bad boy?
Like you guys are discussing, the good, with the story of everything, just seeing the monsters again illustrated and brought to life the way that they can be now, outside of the suit motion and all that stuff, or even the stop motion, for the earlier King Kongs. Just seeing how it just flowed again, and then even the humans. I know we talked about the human involvement and how cheesy they can be. It helped the story move, but it wasn't super necessary, but it kept it going. But the good for me was just allowing the monsters, or the kaiju, or whatever you want to call them, to just take the screen and move the story forward. And like we've all been saying, just had fun with it, and that was the fun.
Yeah. Next, how about you, Gary? What you got?
Very similar to what I said about Skull Island a few weeks ago. This was a very self-aware movie. It knew what movie they were making, and they made it. They didn't make it. They weren't trying to be, some deep film. It was blockbuster Godzilla versus Kong, and that's what they gave us. And so that was the good for me. The people were in it as much as they needed to be. They were kind of a vehicle to get them where they need to go. And I thought that Godzilla got more screen time this time around than he did the previous two movies, that I saw. And so just because of the self-awareness of the movies, like it's Godzilla versus Kong. It wasn't, Godzilla versus Kong, and then we got to wait 45 minutes to see both of them on the same. It was like right off the bat, here we go,
Yeah.
So I appreciated that.
Yeah. And I agree with you guys. I guess what I would add is I liked how they, for Kong, how they added more to his story and more to his lore and backstory. Like, so it's kind of like we had a Kong Skull Island Part 2, but like kind of in this movie. So we got to get a little bit more of him. And the other thing I really liked as I was watching the movie was just how, even though Godzilla and Kong never spoke, you always knew what they were saying to each other and what they were thinking. Like I just remember, like, there's so many times I'm watching Godzilla and he is just looking at Kong like, I'm gonna kill you, I hate you, I'm gonna kill you. And it's just like, dude, Godzilla, calm down, man. And I'm like, and it's just, and then like there's just one part towards the end before they have the epic battle that Godzilla's just staring and he just roars and he's like, come fight me, do it now. And it's just but how you can really see their personalities come to play, and just come out, and just being able to see them talk, if you will. So, and I loved, exactly, the nonverbal stuff, and the fight scenes were awesome. Everything just looked really, really cool. So yeah, I mean, there's just a lot to this. And again, like, you're not walking into this expecting some Academy Award winning, like, this is two giant monsters beating the crap out of each other. And listen, if you walk into this movie, I was talking to Denzel, who's on this channel sometimes, earlier today, because he saw it yesterday as well. And he put it best. He's like, listen, if you're walking into this movie expecting great plot and expecting deep character development, you're in the wrong theater. Like, you are. You need to know what you're in for. And so it's just, it was just a fun movie, and it was exactly what it needed to be. So, any guys got anything to add on that end? Because I know there's plenty good to talk about. Didn't know if you guys want to jump in, add anything else.
Yeah, I thought the fight scenes were incredible. They really were. Yes.
So, Eric, how about you? Anything
I was
to add?
just going to piggyback off what you're saying is, like, I was reading a lot of stuff, and the critics, of course, are like, oh, but then you have, like, the fans and stuff who are like, dude, this is amazing. It's exactly, what it needs to be, and all this stuff, like you guys are saying. And just how, again, the fans going into this are going to really enjoy it. And again, what they've done with the characters and allowed them to thrive, on the big screens there together. And like we talked about the good, like Ephraim was saying, me and a couple of my other friends were like, dude, Kong, like this new version of him where he's bigger, badder, and all that, and he doesn't die right off the bat or the end of the story. That was, again, refreshing to see that play out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will say the good, and I will not spoil it, but the good, another good I forgot to mention is there was a clear winner. They
Mm-hmm.
made it known who won this battle,
Oh
and
yeah.
if you want to know, go watch it. But
Go
they
watch
made
it.
it clear, and I was glad that they did that. I'm glad they didn't shy away and try to be all soccer on us and call it a tie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
I
leaving
thought it
on a
was gonna end
cliffhanger.
in like the Hulk and Thor kind of, where they like look at each other like, I'd win. I'd win.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're like, no, this is the winner, and it's like,
It was like,
yes,
no, I won. All right.
Mhm.
yeah, exactly. One literally just submitted at the end and said, "All
Yeah.
right, we're done here."
Mhm.
So, and even before that, the same one almost died. So,
Yeah.
and it's just I mean, it just. And of course, with these two battling people, that's
Mhm.
not a spoiler. I mean, either
Mhm.
way, they
Yeah.
they really did kick the crap out of each other. I mean,
Oh yeah.
and I will say the fights were pretty balanced. Like it wasn't like
Mhm.
swaying one way or the other. So they were really good.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, even not to spoil anything, but even the one like you guys talked about, if they're fighting on water, then
Mhm.
forget it. Kong has it, but even
Mhm.
that was balanced up until the point when it wasn't. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, can we have a moment of silence for Hong Kong though?
I know, right?
So, yeah.
Poor Hong Kong.
Yeah, who's
Holy
got to clean
cow.
that up?
I
Yeah.
don't know. It's gonna take a while though.
Yes. So, all right. So moving on, what were some of the bad? And I know with everything we just talked about, like what movie you're getting and stuff like that. So, but even for people who may still be like, but maybe there may be something extra. I don't know. Maybe we can just give them what were some of the bad parts of this. Gary, what you got, my man? Like, what are some of the stuff that you thought was like, or
I
whatever?
mean, I don't know really. I mean, in movies like this is always the case, just me personally, but some of the people were kind of annoying, I guess.
Mhm.
It's just like a monster movie trope, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess maybe a little bit more dialogue on some of the tech stuff going on. Because I did see that. It's kind of like, hey, we created this, maybe just a little bit more of that, but that's like I said, that's kind of a stretch and nitpick. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's really it. If I had to say something bad, it'd probably be that. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, and I understand. I know for me there was, like there was one shot in particular of Kong where he's in a
Mm.
certain area in the movie, and when I looked at it, I'm like, oh, he looks fake. That was like the
Mhm.
only time though that I saw it. Everywhere else it looked great. So again, that's kind of a nitpick. And then and there were times like Gary might have heard me. I don't know. The sound was so awesome,
I
but
heard
like
you.
I just I just had to laugh. Like I just had to laugh because I'm like, that is ridiculous. But it's a Godzilla versus Kong movie, so whatever. Like you just kind of like say the heck with it and move on because I mean there was like some of the plot stuff was just kind of like this is ridiculous. But I think I told this to you, Gary. I said, but when you look back at the original Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, back in the '60s, I mean
Yeah.
that storyline is aliens come from outer space and build Mechagodzilla to help fight Godzilla.
Yeah.
So all things considered, and the source
Yeah.
material,
Yeah.
you can overlook some of the dumb stuff that was in it.
Mhm.
But it is. But again, they knew what movie they were making. They knew what people were coming for. So the humans were there to fulfill the purpose of the plot. They weren't there to be developed or anything. So
Mhm.
sometimes what they did was just stupid or silly, and it was like
Yeah.
no one would ever do that.
Yeah.
But whatever, it got these two titans together, and you just kind of look past it. So,
Mhm.
what do you think, Eric?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, with the human involvement, you got to have the comic relief and then the mischief and all that stuff. Again, try not to get too nerdy or sci-fi with it. Yeah, sometimes you're like, okay, well, these people just have this technology or whatever. They're not going to explain it, but boom, you got to get into it, and stuff happens. Because my wife was like over my shoulder watching it. She's like, really, 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 and I'm like, come on, you know what's going, you know what movie we're watching here. But yeah, I mean, like I was saying, the bad maybe just some of that silly little stuff, some the lack thereof, some dialogue with some of the humans. Like I don't know, cheesily, I was wanting a little bit more of what's his face, the Apex kind of guy, the leader, and he's all like, "Oh, I did this," and you're like, "Okay, cool. Well, how did you do this?"
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more of an explanation would have been cool, but at the same time, we know what we're watching. It's this awesome sci-fi movie, and we want those guys there, that way, to do the film for us.
Yeah, and I'm with you on the other side. I'm just kind of like, I wish we would have seen a little bit more of Monarch and see a little bit more of Coach Taylor and like kind of like what they're struggling with and trying to like clear Godzilla's name and stuff like that. Like I wish we got a little bit more of that, because honestly, this movie was just under 2 hours. So like, you know, they could have stretched a little bit to try to do it, but I don't know. But maybe it just got to the point for the director was like, if we tried, then it would just still be too much. But I would just kind of wonder because there was times where they just kind of yada yada through stuff, like when he's trying to call, you know, his daughter. He's like, where are you? And everything's all broken up, and then he goes, and it's like, okay, in his head the plot just continued, and he's like, okay, he's in Hong Kong or whatever, you know, and it's just like, okay, cool, like, you know, so there was just some stuff like that, but again, it was. What do you look at the title? Look at that. Like, whatever. What do you expect? Like, so, but yeah, again, don't go into this thinking huge cinematic experience. That's definitely not what's happening here.
Well, it's just in a different sense.
Yes, exactly. And so, got kids coming there, Gary. But
yeah,
it happens.
Lainey wants to be on the video.
Yeah, it's all good, man.
All good. So, hey, Lainey.
Mr. Reference says, hey.
She wants to look adorable. I understand. Yeah. So that is some of the bad. And again, just know what you're going into. If you're looking for that, you're going to be miserable with this movie. But so moving right along to the Pastor Thyros things. This also may be short because again, it is just about these two titans fighting. Like honestly, gentlemen, as I watch this, you know, it's you get both of you guys know how I am. Like I'm very, oh look, we can pull this theology out of this, we can pull this, but this was one that it was like, other than these people's undying love for whichever kaiju there happened to be this on the side of, there's really nothing else there. Like at least for me, you know, it was just like, hey, we understand these two titans. You know, there's the Kong side, there's the Godzilla side, and they had their undying love for both of them. And that's about it. I don't know. I didn't see anything else. I don't know if you guys did, but that's pretty much all I saw. And not really much there to talk about, but you know, it's pretty fun.
Yeah. Pretty much what you said. You know, we had the whole Jurassic Park message of don't play God, I guess, with the creation of, you know, stuff. But
Yeah. Eric just nods in agreement.
I got it's the good, clean monster movie.
There you go.
Which perfect segue into the dad portion. Even when we say good, clean monster movie. I don't know about you guys, but there wasn't much here where I was just like, man, I can't, other than maybe like one or two scary parts. Like, I don't see why even some younger kids might not be able to, like, I'm thinking younger, like even down to like age 8 or something, wouldn't be able to watch this, to be honest with you. Because I don't remember much of anything in this movie, like not even cursing, to be honest with you.
No, there's a couple, but it doesn't.
It was like in passing, like really quick. It wasn't that thick cussing like we say, but it was. I agree. My son Carter, he's almost 4. He found out I went to see in his mind a dinosaur movie, and he was like, I want to go. So he's already asking to see this. So he's got to wait. He's got to wait a little bit longer, but you know. But yeah, I'd have no problem with him watching this around 7, 8.
Yeah.
Well, like I had started out, and you know, Efra and I, of course, Gary, have been hanging out for a while, and we've been all this kind of stuff. And behind me, you see all my Dragon Ball Z action figures and all this stuff. So you know, there's that degree of hand-to-hand combat, that violence and stuff like that, the human violence or whatnot that my 3 little girls, 4, 9, and 10, or somewhere in there. But they're used to I've been able to teach them like the difference between, you know, the real and, you know, the sci-fi and all that stuff. So again, like I was saying in jest, like at first, like I watched it for, you know, just to see what was going on. But the violence, and I say this as my eldest daughter reveals, like she's like, I think I want to be that guy who does autopsies, you know, as a living when I grow up. And we're like, oh, okay. So, you know, again, for every parent, you know, the different degree of violence or whatnot, what, you know, your kid can handle. My 4-year-old watched this and she was fine with everything. And again, like I said, I watched it just to make sure there was no human violence. Like dismemberment and all that stuff. And of course, we had some explosions and there's a couple of human violences, whatever, I guess, with some small winged creatures, but there was never any massive overkill of blood and that sort of stuff. They really were just watching, animals do their thing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So
it's like National Geographic.
Exactly. They've seen worse there, and all that stuff. Yeah. So that's, where I broke it down as the dad, because I'm a fan of, more violent stuff or whatever, being able to help. They're screaming as I'm saying this, break that stuff down and show them, the real, stuff and all that. But, as a dad, the violence, I guess, would be the one thing that we, again, are bringing up here. But again, the National Geographic and then these two beasts, that's the nature of their beast. That's what they're doing. So,
and I agree. I mean, it is like, yes, you have your creature violence and all that. And some of it probably just depends on what your kids can handle to see.
Yeah.
Like I know probably my oldest, who's 9, she could probably watch this and be fine. But my 7-year-old and 5-year-old, not a chance. Like they'll have nightmares for weeks. So they won't be able to handle it. But so from that perspective, what's that?
Gloat a little bit when Godzilla comes out. Lucy, my 4-year-old, she's like, "Yeah, get him! Yeah, like no one can take him." I'm like, "Yes." That's
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's exactly where that would fall. So any like final thoughts on anything that came up that got you excited, or when you saw on screen you became even more of a child, anything like that?
There was I don't want to spoil anything, but there was a shot in the probably towards the middle. After I think we talked about it when we went to dinner last night after the movie. Me and Alan, where they looked at each other through I don't want to spoil anything, but I was like, yes, I love that part, and they just attacked each other. So that was probably my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah. How about you, Eric?
I don't know. I just everything. Me and another friend of mine were talking about it this morning. And I was just like, I just love how they did both characters justice, and let them do their thing against each other. And some stuff, again, try not to spoil anything, but to see these guys finally like get the throwdown outside of the trailer. I mean, the trailer kind of gave us a good idea of most of the battle, but putting it all together and seeing the whole picture was just, like we've said it this whole time, just a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And of course, the stuff at the end and not wanting to ruin it for people who haven't seen it just yet. But
yeah, and it was like we talked about last time of how, what would he say? Oh, like the terrain. There we go. I was looking for the word. Like that'll have a lot to do with it. Gary talked about it earlier. And then like when they were in Hong Kong, you really did get to see Kong like be very smart. Like he straight up tricked Godzilla at one point, and it was that when I saw that kind of stuff, I was just like, oh, this is awesome. It's like just seeing that kind of stuff happen, and then of course seeing Godzilla get just completely frustrated at that point, and he's just like one of his faces, I'm gonna kill you. He was like so done with it, and he was like, "Dag nabbit, I'm the king." That's just how his attitude was, and
treat me this way.
How dare you?
And then just a couple of nods that they had back to some classic stuff that they had in there. Like I know, like we talked about yesterday, Gary, but like the whole him shoving a tree down Godzilla's mouth. They had a moment like that in there. Yes, and then and then so there's other stuff in there I don't want to spoil, but there's other stuff in there that they that I thought they did well. It's always good when you can do that kind of fan service of things that have been in the past, but not making it. I'm gonna have to throw shade here. Not making it like Rise of Skywalker, where that's all it is. And yes, I know, Eric. I'm sorry, guys. I had to bring it up, but I'm trying to make a point. I need to bring up garbage to make a good point.
Let's get here, guys.
So they did fan service right. That's all I'm trying to say. And they did it right, and it wasn't overblown. So. A couple of things here. So Cole Vandiver, he says he's very excited to see this movie, and he's only expecting a monster movie. Then you will enjoy it, sir.
You will not be disappointed.
Right.
No, you will not be disappointed. And I know she's no longer here, but someone said hi to Lainey, and they love Lainey's bow.
I will relay the message. Thank you.
Yes.
I will make her day.
Yeah. So here we go at the point, guys. It is now time to rate this thing. And Eric, we are men here. We do not do 0.5s. You have to choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have to make a decision. And so, and this is rating on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Hail Marys. So obviously 1 being complete trash. I wish I could gouge my eyes out. And 5 being a complete masterpiece. And so that's what we have there. And I know I'm probably throwing this stuff quick on you guys. So I think as you guys are thinking, all right, I'll probably go ahead and go into this. And you guys know, like, we talked about this before, Gary. And I feel like I need to explain my rating. But we talked about this before. When you go in to see a movie, you need to know what movie you're watching, what the director's trying to do, what's the context, all that. Like, you need to understand the movie. So you can't, like, judge every movie by the same set of standards. You got to look at each movie for what it is and then judge it based off that. And for me, there's a couple things that, I try to judge each movie like that. But of course, it's like, is this shelf worthy? Will I rewatch it again? How many times will I rewatch it? Am I going to try to pass this on down to my children? And it's like, so far it's like check. So for me, when we're talking about Godzilla movies and stuff like that, gentlemen, I think this is a complete masterpiece.
Oh,
wow.
Listen, when it comes to Godzilla movies, when it comes to this kind of standard, I loved it. Like we said, it gave us everything we wanted. It gave us everything that it promised on. See, that's the other thing. The trailers promised a lot, and it delivered. That's not always the case with movies. Trailers overpromise, and then the movie underdelivers. So, again, knowing what it is, this is a complete monster movie masterpiece, in my opinion. And so that's why I gave it a 5. And then notice I did say monster movie masterpiece, because there's a difference between a Ford versus Ferrari masterpiece and a monster movie masterpiece. So let's put that out there as well. As far as monster movies goes, top notch. This is my favorite of the series, I will say.
All right.
So that was me. So who wants to go next?
Eric, you go ahead.
There you go, Eric. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. All right. I guess I'll be a little bit more critical. I'll give it a 4.
All right.
It's pretty much a masterpiece. But I guess my only selfish wants would be, as more people get to see this, a little bit more of certain things, especially at the end. Something that shows up, technology, I guess we've been hinting at. That's not really a big thing. But that's my only gripe. Like, I just want more. So that's why I don't want to give it a 5 just yet, because I'm like, I want more of this, and I want more of them. And, but other than that, yeah, what we've been talking about, just, again, getting these two guys together and allowing them to just throw down, what was it, almost like 4 rounds almost, if you want to, because he said we don't do 3.5s.
Right.
But, and again, just letting the monsters steer the ship, guide the path, and do everything, and let them. It's what we wanted, what we deserved. So
yes.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But that's my only reason why I give it a 4.
Hey, nothing but respect. All right, nothing but respect.
I'm gonna go 4 as well. As well. As much fun as I had, and I respect your rating, Efren. I agree with pretty much everything you said, but I just I can't go 5, but I'm gonna go strong 4. A lot of fun, and wanted a little bit more, and they left us wanting more in a good way, but also I think we could have had just a tad more of certain things, and that's gonna keep me at a 4. So
yeah. I guess it
will be on the shelf, though. By the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I understand. Listen, I don't want you guys feeling bad about your ratings or making me feel like I 100% get it. I walked out of that theater and I'm just like, I'm 12 years old again. Like, so I'm just like, I'm done. I loved it. I loved everything about it. And people can tell me all day it's trash. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to agree, but I'm still going to love it. And that's all there is to it. And so, and listen,
if anybody says this movie's trash, then they're just not fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're probably not my friend anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is. And this was just, again, just that dumb fun movie. And I loved it. This is one I will be telling people, go watch it. Like, you need to go watch this. And
check it out.
Yeah. Even if you hadn't seen the other ones, you really don't need to see the other ones to see this, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, it helps, but I mean,
does help.
it just, yeah, it was exactly what it needed to be for me. And obviously for you guys too. Listen, when you two are saying my biggest gripe is I wanted more, I still see that as a win.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. There you go. She brought in Godzilla.
Oh, there he is.
Yes, my giant Godzilla that I have. So,
Man.
still champ.
Nice.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for being on here with me. There you go, everyone. You have our ratings. Gary and Eric were a little bit more conservative. They try to be more legit. I had complete blinders on and only spoke from the heart.
Yeah.
So that's why that explains our ratings. They were doing a little bit more head knowledge. I spoke from the heart. I gave it a 5. Those two gave it a 4. And no shame here. Either way, what you can take away, go watch this movie.
Yes.
Watch it.
Yep. Go have fun.
Enjoy it.
Yep. Go watch it. Go have fun. And it is completely worth your time. If you can, get to the biggest screen that you possibly can get to watch it if you can. If you can't, all you can do is HBO Max. Still go watch it. They still what is it, ratings, I guess, on how many people watch it. They still get those statistics. Let the studios know we want more of this, because all three of us did leave it wanting more.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's been kicking butt over the seas. So
My dad has been begging me all day to mention on the show his favorite Godzilla movie is Godzilla versus the Smog Monster in 1970. So he's been talking about that all day. So, Dad, there you go. I mentioned it on the show. There you go.
Nice.
Yes. Perfect. See, that is a man of culture. He's pulling out that bad boy. So, thank you guys for joining. If you haven't yet, subscribe. Hit the like button, turn on the bell so you can get future videos come your way, future reviews, because more movies are starting to roll out as the summer approaches. And we are very excited to be talking about those and everything else that is coming out. And thank you, Eric. Always pleasure to have you on here with us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah. And hopefully this won't talking more monster movies will come around quickly. Can't talk today. We will see you guys next time, and thanks for being a part of it. So,
later.
See you, everybody.
See you.
See you.